Teviel there, speaking to Simon Cowell. Now, over a quarter of first-time mums feel lonely following the birth of their baby, according to new research. Net Mums and AXA PPP also suggests that social isolation could be putting them at increased risk of mental health concerns, such as postnatal depression. Well, joining me now to talk about this in more detail is Dr. Steve Eiley from AXA PPP. Now, 28% of people surveyed say they feel lonely. I mean, how worried are you about those statistics?
I think it is a worrying statistic. It's quite large, and I don't think people realise that a quarter of new mums do feel lonely and isolated, and that can lead on to other illnesses, which is concerning, and people need to know what to do about it.
I mean, what can people do about it?
Well, I think talking about it is the first thing, so recognising it is actually a big issue. There are other people out there who are suffering, and so that they know they're not alone. Preparation for the birth is key, so going to those antenatal classes. We know from the research that actually 20%, 1 in 5 new mums aren't going to the antenatal classes, and that's up to nearly half in the younger population. So those new mums, they're not going to those classes, they're not establishing a network, and they're not able to get the help after the birth that they could get from friends and family because of the changes in social circumstances.
Do you think there's still a stigma around mums being able to raise their hands and say, actually, I'm finding this quite hard?
I think you're right. I think the mums now really struggle sometimes. There may be a misconception about how good it should be because they see things in the media, so they're expecting it to be perfect, and actually it's quite challenging. We know a third of mums really struggle. They feel quite stressed and find it quite overwhelming.
Of course, in the modern world now, everyone's on social media for everything. Do you see that as playing an important role for kind of combating that feeling of isolation?
Absolutely. Face-to-face contact is key, whether it be from friends and family, but social media is becoming more and more important, and particularly post-birth. Those new mums, when they're sitting at home, they're using social media much more to keep in contact, establish contact, and that really is a good way of balancing not just seeing friends and family, and face-to-face contact is key, but using the social media really does help.
Okay, fantastic. Dr. Steve Eiley, thank you very much for coming in this morning. Now, still ahead this morning, the latest headlines and travel and weather, plus